So now what we're talking about now is to take it off the ritual level. I want you to run out and get some shit because that shit don't work. I done been through that. And a couple of $100. What we're talking about here is this. We're talking about a rebel. We're talking about the thing that kicks in, whereas when the rational mind is thinking one way, this demon, which is your truer self, got to think totally opposite of that. And then you get it. So moralism is wrong. It's only for the ones that have to keep themselves in the moral order so they don't hurt themselves because they're either ignorant or they don't have the damn energy. One take the other, they both one and the same. Ignorance is evil, so niggas is not the same as white people if they all ignorant. It's the God untapped. But what we're talking about here is, we're talking about something totally different, going the opposite. And so we got to get out of the moralism. And that's very hard because we've been in that for years. We've been in that for years, and that's kind of hard. Plus, it's kind of lonely not having a God. You kind of like praying. That shit, you know. You know, get out of Allah and shit. That shit cool as hell, you know. You kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a metaphysical aspect of that, the wazifa, and the whole thing is about like a mantra. There's a metaphysical aspect of that particular part. But that is in another time zone. Now what we're talking about now is taking responsibility of being gods. But your major world religions are devoid of spiritual systems. You see what I'm saying? Which means the ancient mystery system that dealt with the most latent forms of energy on the planet was suppressed and polished over with fundamentalism and worship, you understand what I'm saying, or basically nothing. Some mystical person a billion miles away which has nothing to do with what goes on this planet. As a matter of fact, the God in heaven of creation in most systems, your ancient Gnostic system, your ancient Egyptian systems, the ancient Egyptians talk about this. The ancient Greek system, which would be your Etruscans, most of your ancient systems, just about all of them bear witness that the God of creation, including Yoruba, only lived for about 1,000 years after the basic creation spark. Now, I know you would want to think that Allah got all the motherfucking shit in charge, but it don't go that way. The Allah is in you. The creation spark that was initiated umpteen millions of years ago only manifests in its last outpost. That's you. That's what the Kabbalah talks about. They'll show you Keva, the unmanifested world, and you have your creative worlds, the worlds of the worlds of manifestation, and then you have Malkuth at the bottom, where they call a kingdom. So they say that the light of creation that happened millions of years ago only manifests in one single point in humans now. That means the universe is nothing but a cold, abandoned void of the past or of nothingness, you see what I'm saying, that has nothing to do with what's going on down here now. Which means we're talking about an energy transfer from thousands of years ago, or millions of years ago, now coming down to one single atom, and that is us. So the God of creation died. It was, the creation itself was a force that created. And that particular force, after the creation, it petered out. And the only thing was left after the creation comes to us. So this whole bullshit about the creator, that's some bullshit. You ain't gonna get nowhere with a goddamn worshiping a motherfucking creator or anything, because that creative spark is in you now. You understand what I'm saying? You know you got a mother that created you, but some of your mothers are dead, right? That means that you're only the extension of what your mother did on some motherfucker she fucked goddamn 50 years ago. You understand what I'm saying? Well, the same shit that happened when it comes to this apparatus, when you really look at the scientific aspect of it. So you worshiping some creator, that might sound good and inspiration, but that don't have shit to do with what you're doing down here. You see what I'm saying? Now, on the earth plane, since we're not talking about some bullshit that happened millions of years ago, the act was already
finished. It's all about like an ejaculation. You shot a ball, you shot a nut 30 years ago. And all of a sudden, you're still worried about that piece of sperm that you shot 30 years ago. And you're worshiping the sperm that you shot 30 years ago, and it's already produced a child. And you sitting up here neglecting the child and worshiping the sperm that you produced 30 years ago. It's already developed into a child. You understand? The creator. Oh, these are age-old practices that we have never researched to find out what is all this bullshit talking about.
So as a result, in that time cycle, we just made the best of things. You know, just like a nigga, we just survived, just like roaches. But at what level are we surviving now? Scratching and scraping and eating crumbs off other motherfuckers now. But anyway, what the deal is, we are anti-nature. So now, because we are learning because we have gotten hit in the head, and we're now relearning all what the ancients did, most of the Afrocentric and even the metaphysical people are still trying to line up with nature. What they don't realize is we're not going back to that particular part in which we had to make the best of things. We're going back to the original chaos beings. So therefore, we have to be anti-nature, anti-life, anti-love, anti-humanity, anti-all of that. We have to take on the total embodiment of Satan, which is evil, but evil is only relative to what plane you on. What is evil in this plane is divine in another plane. So, the original Luciferian or satanic thing was in actuality Prometheus, who actually tried to help mankind. Now the key here is to also punish Prometheus. They sent him a goddess by the name of Pandora, and she had this box. And when she opened this box up, all the evil energies started coming out, and it made Prometheus suffer to this day. Now, what do they mean by that? To break that down, it means that basically the same thing. It's the same thing parallel to the Bible mythology. After the serpent king, which is Prometheus in Greece, the serpent in the Bible, and say, go and eat up the tree of life, which is the apple dot, which is the black dot, which means raise your kundalini energy to your third eye and become gods. And they ate the apple, and what? They could see. And God got mad and cast them down. So they just mixed up the story. After that, what did God do? He made Eve have childbirth. Give birth to child. Pandora's box also meant, when she opened the box, it's talking about opening up the vagina, and she gave birth to child. Now, does that mean that the child is evil? Not in a sense, but it does mean this. Because she gave birth to the child, she kept trapping the seed down here on the lower level by having babies, and man keeps regenerating himself into hell. You get it? By trapping the seed down on the lower level. So Pandora's box also means that when you have a child, you trap the seed down and keep perpetuating to this day. And so the race kept being reborn into hell. You get it? Reborn into hell.